is actually Khatam. Okay, Khatam. And it means a seal, a signet ring. But when we look at the word a little bit more, where it is going to give us something a little bit different. So what's happening now is that there's a breach here. A breach. Tamar understands that the breach needs to be sealed. Her first husband died, okay? Onan died. We have to seal the breach. That's what a signet ring does, because whenever you go back to look into history, you might see a king having a ring. But what he's actually doing now is that he would take some wax or whatever, and he would put the wax on one of the, he would fold the letter, and he would like seal it. So he's covering or sealing the breach. So what this is actually saying now is that what she is doing, or what she's asking for, she wants to seal the breach. And with sealing the breach, we now have the situation where the seed continues. Again, nobody's definition was wrong. It's just that I like to dig real deep. That's what I like to do. Okay, so, and she said, what pledge shall I give you? And he said, thy signet. Watch how this Melchizedek order works. Thy signet and thy bracelets. That word bracelet is patil, a pathil, and it means to twine, to come together, to bond. So this is what you get. This letter right here in Hebrew is the guttural sound. This is also a symbol of genetics, genetic material. So these women were, my mother was a lot smarter than a lot of people might give credit, okay? Seed is important. She knew what she had to do. Not everybody can do what she had to do, but again, this woman, my mother here, Tamar, she was, as they say in the hood, a ride or die chick. She knew what she had to do. A lot of people might say, listen, you know what? She was a whore, she was a harlot, she did this, and she tricked Judah and everything like that. No. That's not what she's doing here. So again, the bracelet now is the Hebrew word pathal, and it means a cord or a thread. And it means twisted. It means to bound. It also means bracelet, a lace, a linen, a ribbon, a thread, and a wire. Remember those definitions. Okay? It's going to be very, very important. Very important. Very important. Watch what's going on here. What she is actually doing. Let me speed this up here because for some reason this is going way too slow. Here it is. Just want to show the importance of what's going on here. And she arose, verse 18. And he said, what will, so he gave her the signet, because what she's going to do now is that she wants to bond or bring something back together or to break the breach, because there's a breach here because there's no children. And then this bracelet now, we gave the Hebrew word for that, and we also talking about now to twine or to bring together. We're talking about genetics. And the staff. This staff is talking about what? That's real easy. We're talking about authority, leadership, the Melchizedek order. The staff is a sign of authority, and so what she's wanting to do now, she's trying now to bring back now the royal bloodline. And so Judah sent the kid, and she arose and went away and laid by her bed and put on the garments of a widowhood, and Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend, the Dulamite, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Then he said, then he asked the men at that place, saying, where is the harlot that was open by the wayside? And they said, there is no harlot in this place. And he turned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of this place said, there is no harlot in this place. And Judah said, let her take it. Let her take it. It's all right. Let her take it so that we won't be ashamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and we has not found her. So listen, I upheld my end of the bargain. We went looking for her. Okay, and she had all of these signet things. Okay, she has all of these signet ornaments here that is representing authority, which is representing a royal bloodline, is what she's trying to now reinforce to keep the bloodline running. And Judah said, listen, you know what, let her have those things. And it came to pass about 3 months after that, it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, have played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by order. And Judah said, bring her here and let her be burned. Okay? Because marriages are very, very important. Marriages brings families together. That's what it does. The concept of marriage and love has been polluted by Western society. Our definition of love now is based upon Romeo and Juliet. Okay? That is not historical in our records. It is not there. Me and a brother, we was talking a couple of weeks ago, and this whole thing about love. Love is beautiful. Love is what brings everybody together. But my argument when we was going over this particular scripture, and there's other scriptures to back this up, is that this thing was about succession and seed. That there's one particular said, listen, you know what? My Ish doesn't love me. Why doesn't your Ish love me? Because he committed adultery. How did your Ish commit adultery? Because he slept with another woman. I do not ordain or say it's okay to be a whore. I don't meant to be whores. I don't teach that. But I said, well, listen, was the sister married? She said, no. Okay, then, well, he didn't commit adultery. He did not commit adultery. The worst thing that he did now is that he didn't confide and try to keep shalom in the household. What he did now is that, and that's is going to cause a disturbance. Well, I want a divorce. Under what grounds do you want a divorce from him? Because he committed adultery. And they got real graphic because he stuck his name in another woman. That's how complicated it got. And I said, well, according to Torah, that doesn't constitute love. Not in Scripture. Watch how this thing plays out. Let's see if anybody is able to catch this here. Because I want to show one more example, because I got 15 minutes left, and I have a whole lot more to go, but we're going to keep it real short. Watch what happens. And it came to pass in about 3 months, okay, we're talking about she was burnt. Watch how Tamar handles the situation in verse 25. And she was brought forth. She sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are, am I with child. Watch what happened. She did not embarrass Judah at all. She didn't say, Negro, these are, you got me pregnant, and you talking about you're going to burn? Nah. She was so modest and humble with the whole thing and understanding succession. She didn't even call him out like that. She said, who do these things belong to? And she said, discern, I pray, whose these things? The signet, bring it back. The royal priesthood, the bracelet, the twining, because Judah had intercourse. So we have Judah, okay, which is of a royal bloodline, right? He's Shemitic, and also of the order of Melchizedek. Tamar is Shemitic. We now have a continuation of the royal bloodline. It could not have happened when my mother had intercourse with her first husband and Onan. Okay? Speed it up here. I prayed with those thieves, the signet and the bracelet, the staff, and Judah acknowledged them and said, she has been more righteous, so she's acting in the order of a Melchizedek, a woman. She's been more righteous, okay, than I. Watch what happens. Remember the twine. And Judah acknowledged them and said, she has been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah, my son. And he knew her again no more. Okay, he didn't have intercourse with her no more. And it came to pass, watch verse 27. And it came to pass at the time of her travail that, behold, twins were in her womb. All right? It has always been a struggle to crush what? The seed. It has been talked about from the beginning. Why we forget it now, I don't know. And how does the so-called, I'm about to fall into that old thing before, you know I was what I'm about to say, okay? So again, the enemy now has set up institutions now to destroy the seed. That's Satan's job. Birth control pills, IUDs, phones, condoms, all of these things now are devices of the devil to destroy the seed. That's what it's all about. The Tuskegee plan, injecting men with syphilis, all this stuff. Drugs, GMOs, men taking soy products, high fructose corn syrups. All of these things are devices of the so-called, the enemy now, okay, to destroy the seed, the bloodline. Yes. This is what he's doing. It's been like that from day one. He wants to stop this royal bloodline from continuing. That's the job of the enemy. Now, and it came to pass, as she travailed that, there was, verse 28, and it came to pass that she travailed that one put his hand, and the midwife took and bound his hand, and a scarlet thread, saying, this one came out first. So we have this thread all over again. Listen, we have to make sure that we do our homework, these prophecies, because the bloodline has to continue. The Melchizedek order, that's the dark line, is very important, all right? And so the first one came out, so they tied down the scarlet thread around his hand. This one came out, and it came to pass as he drew back his hand. And behold, the brother came out, and she said, how is this broken forth? This breach, when you go back now into the word now, this signet, how did this breach happen? We need now to close this breach be upon thee before his name was called Perez. Now the question becomes now, because there was two babies. One was named Perez, and the other one in verse 30 was named Zerah. Which one of these boys now is mentioned in the Mashiach's bloodline? Who? Was it Perez? Yeah. Okay, all right. Make sure everybody is with me here, all right? So again, Mr. McCall, I'm just trying to show the importance of the bloodline and what we're actually been called to do, the importance of seed, and not get caught up in this whole emotional game. This was my mother. This is what she did. And one more thing, because we have about 5 minutes left. Okay, I'm just going to do this real quick. Remember when Abraham goes to the father and says that this Eliezer is going to be my heir? Everybody is aware that it doesn't say Eliezer of Damascus. It says Eliezer Dammaker, which means that Eliezer was actually his son, was Abraham's son. You give an heir to a son. But this Eliezer now was not of the bloodline. He's asking the father now for the continuation of the bloodline. This is the mishap that's going on in the Masoretic text. So he's actually praying that Sarah, his wife, is able to conceive. Again, we talked about names. The word Tamar means palm trees. Okay? The same word as, I think, with Deborah. Now, watch this. We talked about last week, and I'm running out of time, is the word Sarai means what? Princess, right. But she wasn't just a princess in name. Sarah and Abraham came from the land of Ur. She was a literal princess. She was of a royal bloodline. And so we have now the situation now is that Abraham is going into her, he's going into her. But the reason why they didn't have any children is because a covenant first needed to be made with who? Abraham. And so now when we see the covenant being made with Abraham, because we see now his foreskin of his penis now being cut, that is the seal. All men are supposed to show this covenant where the foreskin is cut from the penis. So what happens now is that when Abraham goes into Sarah, we now have Isaac. When Abraham went into Hagar, like we had talked about so many times before, he still had the foreskin over his penis now. So now that child is not a covenant child. The covenant child is the child that Abraham had with the princess, continuing the bloodline, and now we have Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The continuation of the bloodline. That's how that operates. Okay? And there's other women that also did the same thing, understanding the whole with Elizabeth, and we're going to have to tackle that. Okay, we got 4 minutes. Okay, and we'll get into that. Israel, Mishpachar, again, and we'll get into this more in depth, a little bit more. When I began a couple of weeks ago looking up the importance of seed and not discounting anybody, because everybody knows that it takes 2 to make children, right? Man and woman. And, but this word, Betula, means, anybody know what that word means in Hebrew? Virgin. And the word, Alma, means young woman. This word right here, when a woman is a virgin, there are scriptures that is showing a major difference with bloodline and with the tabernacle that was set up in the wilderness, and why Mary needed to be a virgin, and why the Levites were told that you're only supposed to deal with virgins. When you look at the human genome, and we have 2 nurses here, in Genesis, the 1st chapter, when we talked about Adam being put asleep, and we know the whole thing about chromosomes in genetics, and we know the whole thing about the X, Y being the male, and the X, that's right. The double X is the female. Zakar and Yashra'al, they already know this. We're going to be able to show in Scripture that this Adam had an X, Y, Y chromosome. An X, Y, Y chromosome. And when the Father put Adam to sleep and did this operation, he's now taken one of his chromosomes, okay, and no, it's not an X. So he's now taken one of his chromosomes here now, and we now have, but we're not looking at sperm here now. We're talking about the chromosomes here now, because there is in the Hebrew alphabet this chromosome that I talked about earlier. Because how many letters are there in the Hebrew alphabet? 22, right? 22? Yes. And so now this 23rd here, or this missing one here, and actually they said it's actually 24. They said it's 24. And this is when we began to look at like some extra writings, like Maisha had brought out before. We had talked about like there was a particular essence that was taken from man to stop him from living forever. But I just found it very interesting. I forgot the terminology of the word for this. And this man can still continue to procreate with an X, Y, Y chromosome. There won't be a deficiency versus when we begin to look at some of the primates, like apes and monkeys, where they show now that there's only like a one-third difference between the genealogy, not the genealogy, but the genetics between a gorilla, not a gorilla, but a monkey and watch this. We didn't